Today, on the Racing 57 Diecast and Unboxing Review, I have two NASCAR diecasts. One is from Racing Champions from 1994, and the other is from Revel Racing in the year 1997. Both are the same driver, which is Bobby Labonte. The one from 1994 from Racing Champions, it is Bobby Labonte's Maxwell House number 22 Pontiac Grand Prix, and from Revel Racing, it is Bobby Labonte's 1997 Interstate Batteries, the Interstate Batteries 500 car Pontiac Grand Prix to promote the new Texas Motor Speedway in 1997. This is Bobby Labonte's 1994 22 Maxwell House Pontiac Grand Prix car from Racing Champions. This box includes a collector's card, a display stand, and a 1/64 scale diecast replica of Bobby Labonte's number 22 Maxwell House Pontiac Grand Prix. On the back of the package, you have the Racing Champions logo, the NASCAR logo, all the licensing agreements to make this car possible, and you have a list of all the stock car drivers from 1994 that Racing Champions was producing. And you can see some of the gray circles. It means that this collector already had them, in which the previous owner of this car must have collected a lot before I got this car. So this is Bobby Labonte's 1997 Interstate Batteries, the Interstate Batteries 500 Pontiac Grand Prix car. So from the look of the package, it all includes just one diecast replica of Bobby Labonte's 1997 Interstate Batteries, the Interstate Batteries 500 Pontiac Grand Prix car. On the back of the package, it just has the Revel Racing logo, the number 18, Interstate Batteries, the Interstate Batteries 500 Pontiac Grand Prix, and below it is the licensing agreements to make this car possible. But there's also a description on the back of the package. It says, since Joe Gibbs Racing opened its doors in 1992, the number 18 has had the support of Texas-based Interstate Batteries, the largest replacement battery company in the United States. The addition of driver Bobby Labonte to the Interstate Batteries team in 1995 proved to be a winning combination, producing 4 victories and 6 qualifying pole positions in the last 2 seasons. Now, Revel Racing honors the inaugural Winston Cup race at Texas Motor Speedway and its sponsor with a replica of the 18 Interstate Batteries 500 Pontiac Grand Prix. So when I do a diecast unboxing and review video of 2 NASCAR diecasts, I'll do one car at a time, and then the other car after the first one. So let's get into the review. So first up is Bobby Labonte's number 22 Maxwell House Pontiac Grand Prix car that was run in the 1994 Winston Cup season. Well, NASCAR Winston Cup season. So it comes with a 1/64 scale diecast replica of the car, a base stand, and a collector's card. Now the collector's card has Bobby Labonte's name at the top, the Racing Champions logo, and a picture of Bobby Labonte posing next to his car from 1994. Now if I turn it around, it just has Bobby Labonte's name, his signature, and he put a hashtag number 22, meaning the number 22. Now, he lives in Trinity, North Carolina. Well, from what it says from 1994, he was born on May 8th of 1964. The base plate and the card have been moved aside, so that way I can review the car a lot more. So more info about Bobby Labonte. So before he joined Joe Gibbs Racing in the number 18 Interstate Batteries car, he drove the number 22 car in the first part of his NASCAR career. I'm not sure what the team was for the number 22 car back then. I did know that Bill Davis Racing had the number 22 car before Roger Penske had the 22 car, well, now. So this car is in a nice blue paint job with some gold streaks, dark blue in the middle. The number 22 is in a different font compared to Ward Burton's car that I reviewed. It was sponsored by Maxwell House. Maxwell House is a coffee brand, and of course on the trunk it says the official coffee of NASCAR. I guess Folgers left the sport, considering the fact that Mark Martin used to drive the Folgers number 6 car, but now that he was sponsored by Valvoline during 1994, I guess Maxwell House took over the sponsorship. So this was in a Pontiac Grand Prix in 1994. So Pontiacs have been in NASCAR for quite some time before they left the sport completely in 2004, when I believe it was only just Chevys and Fords, which I believe 2004 was the last time. So more about the car. It's in a metal body, no details in the inside. In fact, the window isn't really the same as what a lot of NASCAR diecasts are today. The underside is blue with plastic wheels and a metal body, and there's not a lot of inside details from the car. His signature, a number 22 in with an orange outline, just like the sponsor, Maxwell House, as the lettering is white with an orange outline. And of course you see the trademark logo saying that this is their logo and they have rights to their own. And on the sides you got all these sponsors like Moog 76, which is their fuel. DuPont off to the side. Of course, no Winston Cup logo, considering the fact that this is a NASCAR diecast from Racing Champions being sold in stores, so no alcohol or tobacco sponsorships. But overall, a very nice looking car. Now, here is Bobby Labonte's 1997 Interstate Batteries, the Interstate Batteries 500 car that he ran at Texas Motor Speedway in 1997. So, about this car, it's a special paint scheme. It was to celebrate Texas Motor Speedway's first official race for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Instead of the traditional green, black, and red car that Bobby Labonte drives, Interstate Batteries wanted a special paint scheme, so they put a little bit of green, but it's mostly blue, white, and red, with a big star on the hood, or on the front of the car, because that's what the Texas flag is, where half of it is blue with a big star, and then the other half, the top half is white, and the bottom half is red. And so why would Interstate Batteries do that? Well, Interstate Batteries is from Texas, and what better way to sponsor a NASCAR race in Texas is to have one of their biggest companies in Texas, which is Interstate Batteries, and they're basically a replacement battery company. So like I said, from the car, you've got this nice blue front with one big star that symbolizes the first half of Texas, where it's blue with one big star. Now it says Texas Motor Speedway Interstate Batteries 500. Let me just take a look at the car. And it says, I know it says something special about maybe like the date, or it says inaugural on the day of the race, which is, yeah, I'm sorry if it's taking this long because, it takes place on April 6th of 1997. My bad. And on the side of the car, instead of where you have this like red line with the black, it now just has the flat colors. So you have green, which is not a flat color. It's just keeping the Interstate Batteries colors. White, and of course the bottom half red. The Shell logo, Interstate Batteries. You have the wording Shell, which is kind of hard to see if it's far away, considering that white and yellow don't really go well. Because basically with any yellow wording on white, it becomes invisible from a distance. And on the back, you have Interstate, a red 18. Well, the white back was the red bottom. Now, when you look at the hood, there are two NFL logos, considering the fact that the owner, Joe Gibbs Racing, was or used to be the head coach of the Washington Commanders. Well, back then they were the Washington Redskins, but everybody knows that, what happened, if you're an NFL fan. And so, when Joe Gibbs Racing formed this team, Interstate Batteries has been their first sponsor. In fact, they still continue to sponsor Joe Gibbs Racing for a long time. So from 1992 to 2026, that's over 30 years of business together, which I believe it was 35 years of business together, actually. One thing about the car is that they still kept the same number 18 font all around. And more about the number 18 Interstate Batteries car, for those of you just knowing this by now, or if you're new to NASCAR, was that, before Kyle Busch, Bobby Labonte did drive the car, but before Bobby Labonte, Dale Jarrett drove the 18 car. But then when he left Joe Gibbs Racing for Robert Yates Racing to drive the 28 car for the 1995 season, and then Robert Yates Racing had another team in which he drove the 88 car, Bobby Labonte took over in 1995 and essentially became the first driver to win a championship for Joe Gibbs Racing, and was a successful driver in the number 18 car before Kyle Busch came along. But if I'm talking about this car, this is actually a nice paint scheme to commemorate a special event for NASCAR in 1997. Both NASCAR diecasts are pretty cool and definitely a good collector's item. But if I had to choose between both cars, I would pick Bobby Labonte's number 18 Interstate Batteries, the Interstate Batteries 500 car. This will wrap up today's episode on the Racing 57 diecast and unboxing and review of Bobby Labonte's number 22 Maxwell House and his number 18 Interstate Batteries, the Interstate Batteries 500. If you want to check out more videos, check out the Racing 57 diecast and unboxing and review channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you next time.